Hi, Professor. This is my oral presentation, and I'm not exactly sure how I should word it, but I'm just gonna, I guess, read my paper to you. Uh, I don't do good with verbal or oral presentations, I never have. So, the company I chose was Blue Cross Blue Shield, um, and it was established in um, 1929 and is the oldest and largest insurance company in the United States. It has 36 locally independently owned and operated franchises that make up the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. When BCBS was established, it was mostly providing prepaid hospital care. But a decade later, the association began providing reimbursement for general doctor services. The association is operated in every U.S. state, along with the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. BCBSA is a federation of 36 separate U.S. state health companies and organizations that provide coverage to more than 106 million people. There are three types of plans that I was able to find that, well, I wish to go on topic about, and that's HMOs, PPOs, and the HSAs. The HMO and the PPO plans are the primary dividers that make up most of the plans, and the HSA plan is a savings account. With an HMO plan, you have access to a certain and specific network of doctors, specialists, medical centers, and hospitals. Sorry. Normally, these are arranged from county or several counties, though the process is based off of a person's geographic location. With a PPO plan, you are, where did it go? Oh, sorry. With a PPO plan, you are granted a bit more freedom than if you had an HMO plan. From what I've been able to research about a PPO plan, it's more desirable than an HMO because you are given more freedom. You're given a wider freedom to seek out different doctors, hospitals, and even specialists outside of a given network. PPOs are a good choice because you don't need a primary doctor. You can go to a convenient care. You could go to a walk-in clinic. You don't need a referral to see a specialist. If you want to see a specialist, you can go and see a specialist. You don't have to wait for that referral. And you can get care at either types of network, whether it's a doctor that's inside the network of your plan or outside of the network. And it's just a different deductible, a different copay, in my opinion. Now, an HSA is an actual savings account for those who don't really have a lot of chronic issues or illnesses. Now, me, I couldn't live off of an HSA account. It is an account that is meant to be a backup in case of a medical and prescription needs. The BCBS HSA happens to be a high deductible PPO plan. It is a plan that most employees have set up with their employers to have funds removed from their paychecks into this account for qualified medical expenses. It's not an account that's just for spare money. It's meant for medical expenses. It's an account that is mostly meant for emergencies that arise without warning, or and you're able to use it both before and after you've met your deductible. Deductibles are a set amount that is agreed upon with each different plan. And until that amount is paid in full, the insurance will only cover a set percentage. That agreed upon deductible must be paid completely. Basically have met the entire deductible for the year before the insurance will cover anything and everything 100%. Say your deductible is $2,500, rough estimate here. If you haven't met that deductible, paid out of pocket the $2,500 worth of coverage, whether it be hospital bills, doctor visits, anything of the sort, the insurance will only cover up to a certain amount. That's why when you get a bill, only like 3/4 of the bill is covered, and you still have that remaining balance you have to pay. That remaining balance you pay goes towards paying off your deductible for the year. And but once that deductible is met, completely paid up, the insurance will cover then 100%. We kind of found that out when my mother was having her health issues. In 1 year, she went well over their deductible, and the insurance had to pay everything because of surgeries, doctor's visits, and everything out of the like. They ended up paying almost, well, with extra expenses, I know they spent well over $8,000 in 1 year. I don't know how high the deductible is. I don't know any of that information for them. But it's basically meaning that deductible has to be met. It is a yearly thing. It is not a monthly thing. I don't think I've ever even heard of a monthly one. Excuse me. Now, a copay is like a deductible, but different and all the same. Where a deductible is having to be met for the company to pay 100%, a copay is a fee that is charged and is paid at time of services. There are some doctor's offices that will allow you to pay at a later time if you do not have the money. But there are certain specialists that you have to have that copayment paid in advance. OBGYNs are one of them. If you do not have the money up ahead, or if you do not have the copay, they cannot see you. OBGYNs, a gynecologist is a type of specialist that has to have a copay paid. A psychiatrist, a therapist, their copays have to be paid before acting of service. It just depends on the company, the doctor's office, the type of doctor you're seeing. But it is a small amount, normally, depending on which plan you've got, what your requirements are. With my plan, my general doctor's visits are $30. And I want to say my specialists are $60. Yeah, I want to say it's about $60. As long as I have a referral. Now, if I don't have a referral, it's about $100 because I have a charge to it. Like I have it written, it's a small amount that you pay before a doctor's visit, though depending on which type of plan you have, depends on the amount that you pay. Also, the amount is different from different types of doctors, say like a primary doctor to a specialist doctor. Okay. And for my own views of this insurance, it's a kind of a biased one. Seeing as all I've ever known is Blue Cross Blue Shield. When I was little, it's what we had. I grew up with it. I remember having Blue Cross Blue Shield Anthem growing up, having the co-pays, and I didn't know as much then, but I knew that that one was the one that covered our family. And now that I'm older and I've learned to navigate the insurance marketplaces and networks and be able to understand it through my job's information, it's most of the websites and the marketplaces nowadays are pretty open and explanatory. You've got basic plans, you've got advanced plans, you've got like term life and just short-term disability, long-term disability. It's just different. Every person doesn't need the same plan. When you're on a hunt for insurance, you must take into account are you getting it just for yourself? Are you getting it for a family? Or in my case, have to help my mother, who is blind, find a secondary insurance to cover extra medical bills. You need to figure out the network, the web links. When looking at different insurances, you need to check around your city. Do you have doctors and different facilities around you that are in the same network, or are you going to have to go out of town for a different doctor? There's a lot of factors you have to take into advance or take into account when finding a health insurance. I know it's time consuming, it's can be confusing, but you just need to take your time and read over everything that is presented to you before you make a choice. I honestly wish I had more experience with different insurances so I could give more of an unbiased account to everything, but like I was saying, all I've ever known is Blue Cross Blue Shield. And this concludes my paper. I hope I did okay. Like I said, I'm not very good at oral presentations because I don't know what answers I really need to cover. And well, this concludes my Reimbursement Methodologies Unit 2 assignment.